Yo, yo, yo. We made it to the Super Bowl, playoff-wise. Dynasty offseason. Jeremy, how you doing? And I want to get it right off the bat. Who you got? Pats, Seahawks.
I mean, my gut take is not going to be too controversial. There's one team there that has a top 3 offense and a top 3 defense, and I'm going to just trust they figure it out against a team that hasn't truly been tested by a team that has a complete offense and a complete defense, especially throughout the playoffs, and their regular season.
Yeah, unfortunately for the Pats and Pats fans, they are not beating the Mickey Mouse run allegations when you get the CJ Stroud weather meltdown and then you play against Jared Stidham. That game was a game though, especially with the weather.
No Nico Collins. And
right.
Then, yeah, and the weather in that game. I guess there's some discourse out there. Some people are like saying playoff games should be in the dome. Snow games suck. Where do you stand on this?
Okay, I do have a confession. There are a few takes that I have that I know are either wrong or lame. This is one of them. I know this is lame. I think I love a good dome, nice weather, the fantasy scoring. Oh, it gets me so excited. I don't love like slipping around. Yeah, that too, 100%. I think it's just more of like so much of my happiness, right or wrong, is tied to the fantasy point production of NFL players. And when the weather hinders that, it kind of grinds my gears a little bit. But I know I'm lame. So like I would never sign a petition or kind of put it out into the universe that I want this to happen because I know it's lame and I know it'll never happen. But I need to say that out loud. And I think you need to address Will Wade right now.
Well, yes, NC State got a big win against Syracuse. That's how you know our basketball season's going really well. Syracuse is counted as a win, but he's done well. He got a good win against Clemson. I think 5 road ACC wins, which is pretty big. I believe that stat I'm quoting right, but yeah,
don't test me on college basketball.
I want him to win some bigger games and like get us. I want to be in the tournament, but not be like a 10 seed or something that has to play a 2 or 1 seed. Like
I couldn't even tell you.
Get us into a Sweet 16 matchup with a top 2 seed type of path. So we'll have to see how that goes.
I'm
on the snow game.
Yeah,
I'm on the other side, man. I'm just gonna say, I feel like I agree during the season, it doesn't feel as special. If it was like week 17 or 18, I'd be like, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's like playoffs, and it just to have the entire game flip on its head in terms of how you strategize. It's not just a normal game. You have to factor in all these other things. I respect it. And it also makes me wonder. I don't get the play call 4th and 1 in the first quarter for the Broncos. But they also probably knew the weather was going to go to hell.
Yeah.
And at this point, I'm like, if you know that, wouldn't you even want the points more? Like, just take what you can get because you're like, this weather could go to hell, have crazy storms. The snow between the 3rd and 4th quarter. The 3rd quarter is like, oh, it's a normal game. In the 4th quarter, it's like blizzard. The fact that they were like, nah, let's not take the points against with Jared Stidham. I was confused by that.
Yeah.
And then too, to run like a play that got blown up. It looked worse than it probably was, but still. It's like at that point I'm like, why don't you just push it if you're going to go for it? But that's going to be a hill I always die on. It's like you should always just put a tight end under center and push them across the line. Yeah,
the AJ Barner, Mark Andrews, and then you get the wrinkles where Mark Andrews is running a QB sweep, tight end QB sweeper on the side. Nah, I was kind of nervous. I don't want to be too much of a Jared Stidham hater because I think he played fine for, what you expect somebody thrown in that situation. But I'm hoping we get a game in the Super Bowl, because I am with you with the Seahawks. And oh man, gotta stop myself. I don't have the sounder up. Connor, give me like a meme sound effect you want me to recreate with my mouth, and that can be the 199 sounder for you, because I don't have the ball in tape ready. But Rio live stream. Is Jeremy going to Rio? People want to know.
I don't know.
2K Rio trip.
I guess I was confused, but yeah, I forgot. NC State does play in Rio next year. For some reason, they're doing the NFL, but college football, which is even more regional.
I didn't hear about that.
I'm like, who wants to go to? Like, who in Brazil is like, hell yeah, ACC football?
I don't know. You think that, but it cracks me up, and I love it when you see those like London games, and it's like Jags, Rams, and you've got like Tom Brady jerseys and just like total random teams.
Yeah, it's NC State versus Virginia in Rio.
Okay.
That's
all right.
Just so crazy to me.
There we go. There's the live stream. 2K subs, guys, and we're taking Dynasty-Daddy to Rio. Ooh. Music Lover 23. Just get to the title already. Is Pro Bowler Shadur the new QB1? And it was kind of, I'm gonna peel behind the curtain a little bit. When I set up these live streams, like, we're doing these weekly all through the off season, so I get a little like self-conscious and nervous about like not reusing titles and who are going to be the themes based off of the playoffs. But I do want to ask, if you were in a startup right now and you were on the clock, are you taking Drake May first at the QB position? And I know the overall fantasy production in this last game, I mean, obviously there was not a ton of scoring, but we've seen a lot of rushing from May this season and in the postseason as well. Considering the age, the production this year, the MVP case, is Drake May your QB1, or is it still Josh Allen or Lamar or Jay Daniels?
I'm going to preface this.
Yeah.
Going to preface this.
Preface this.
I do. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
I don't care. I don't hate the Patriots. I don't have a Patriots bias, but I'm not the biggest fan of Chapel Hill.
Okay.
And NC State football did whoop up on Drake May for 4 years, so I was kind of like, hey,
how many NC State mentions
dude,
in the?
He's always hyped up. I'm like, this dude can't be NC State. But I mean, he's looked pretty phenomenal, especially with the lack of tools around him. And that situation is only going to get better. So to me, this team is kind of like the Commanders last year, where they overachieved a bit. And you're like, okay, that like maybe they arrived a year early or so.
Mm-hmm.
But I just expect this team to get even better. That makes me more optimistic in Drake May, especially with his rushing upside and the age premium. I think if I'm doing a startup, I'm probably leaning May, because that just gives me more flexibility.
Yeah.
If I draft Josh Allen first, I can't do the 1 year rebuild. I can't do I have less options, and it's kind of like the Jaden Daniels argument last year, but even more, because all the old guys, Lamar and Hurts and Josh Allen, some had down years and others are just getting another year older. So eventually you got to say, if I am rebuilding or giving my team the most options with that first pick, because you don't know how the rest of the board's going to go. With that first pick, May gives you the most options, so you could do a rebuild and punt the first year and not feel terrible burning a prime year of like Josh Allen. Burning Josh Allen's 30th year is tough when you're like, I don't know how productive he will be going into his 30s. Not saying he's going to fall off. He's looked phenomenal, but you never know. I mean,
at that point of the draft,
Cam Newton was Dynasty QB1, and then he was out of the league at 33. So you just never know with big physical quarterbacks how they kind of age.
Yeah, I think the thing with May too has been like and that's kind of the other reason that I'm pretty in on the Seahawks winning, is the O-line play's been really rough, especially recently. Yeah. Campbell's been pretty tough, and I don't like projecting offensive line improvements for like projecting big rises in ranks, right? So when we talk about Genty, like, it's one thing to be like, the O-line play was so bad, it can only get better, but I think it's like hard to really put that into the logistics of what the player should actually be valued at when you're where it's kind of this mystical, the offensive line will improve in some capacity. But I feel a little bit better about seeing how Drake May has played this season, the rushing.
You got to think the situation is better. Like Will Campbell, obviously has been rough, but he's coming back from a knee injury. So it's like, okay, like you could kind of write it off. He's a rookie. Hopefully he'll get, and maybe they move him into guard or something that kind of fits his physical tools more and get a different answer at left tackle.
Speaking,
what he's working with from a passing options is very limited. He's 20 points behind Josh Allen in fantasy points. Like, you can't get much better than that.
Speaking of Josh Allen, we got some head coaching updates, confirmations, and we've got Joe Brady, business as usual. And it sounds like he's going to retain play calling duties as head coach for the Bills. I don't know. Do you have any strong takes? I think to me, this is a little bit more of business as usual versus like projecting big changes, which I think maybe is good for James Cook, just with the, rush rate, pass rate over expectation we've seen for the Bills since Joe Brady's been running the show. But yeah, any thoughts on this one? Or am I quiet? Jeremy, a little quiet versus Will's mic.
I was quiet.
Is that a problem, guys?
I guess my initial take is kind of the Mike Tomlin to Mike McCarthy move, where it's like,
I got that one ready too.
We need regime change. Let's fire our coach that carried our team out of nothing. And you're like, okay, cool. Like, what are you going to bring in? You're going to probably go after some of the big names. We have Josh Allen. And then you just bring in the same guy. You're like, actually, we're not going to go that crazy. We're just removing one guy. And in fact, we're going to promote the GM. So to me, I'm just like, I'm like, you kind of missed the point of firing the coach. Unless if the coach had some drama behind the scenes, there's no reason to really get rid of a coach and then keep everyone else around him. So that to me is a little weird. It's kind of just like the Tomlin McCarthy bit of, you have the guy that takes mid rosters and loses first round of the playoffs. Let's get another guy that does that all the time. And, it's kind of like, okay, well, you didn't really try something new. You're just doing exactly what you're doing. But the big winner is, like you said, James Cook, because running backs do tend to see a big shift in their usage based on coaching changes more than any other position in fantasy. And the fact that, the guy that loves James Cook is going to be the head coach, you don't have to worry about that anymore.
Yeah, right after the extension.
Maybe it was, I guess in hindsight, let's just, kind of do the big brain meme.
Okay.
Is this like potentially the first situation where you have a defensive head coach and an offensive coordinator, and they're scared of the offensive coordinator getting poached? So they are like, let's get rid of the head coach and promote the offensive coordinator. Because everyone's always like, Kyle Shanahan leaves the Falcons, or all these guys. You're like, well, you can't fire the coach that got him to the Super Bowl or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, is this them trying to do the zag?
My take is it's probably like and we don't know a lot of these behind the scenes stuff for a lot of these firings and coaching changes, but I mean, just especially this year of all years, kind of felt like the no Mahomes, no Lamar, pretty nice setup for Bills playoff run, and just having kind of championship game, first, second round exit, back to back. But my guess is that this is a little bit of Josh likes Joe Brady, and he has a big say in the head coaching change. So something new. Raiders might have waited too long to get a new head coach and may still be sunk. What do you gents think? Yeah, I'm very fascinated on the Raiders and the Browns, especially with a lot of these hot OCs getting snatched up.
I think the Raiders are going after what's his name, Kubiak, right? The offensive coordinator for the Seahawks.
Yeah,
I think that's why they're just like, we don't care about anything else. We're just going to line him up with Mendoza, with Bowers, and let him design that offense. So I imagine the Browns are more concerning because I don't think they have really a guy that, like, the Browns is just a situation you don't really want to go to.
Mm.
But the Raiders have a selling point. They have Bowers. They have Max Crosby. They have Tom Brady being, able to help mentor Mendoza, and you have Mendoza. So you have all these things kind of making that spot more interesting. So I imagine they already kind of have a closed door deal of like, hey, once you finish your playoff run, you're coming over here and you're going to get a chance to actually be a head coach here. Which
We're
I
kind of
believe he was Saints the year before, right? And he did a pretty decent job there.
we're kind of doing the all the different degrees of Josh Allen, but to keep it going, we have the Jelly Roll making the announcement with the scoop that we got Dayball, offensive coordinator for the Titans. Which I think my thing, especially after seeing the Saleh head coach point, I think to me it was like I really want to be excited about the offensive coordinator for like any Cam Ward hype at all. Just because obviously defensive head coach on the Saleh side. But I like Dayball, I think the like tying Dayball to like the success and improvement of Josh Allen, I think is kind of tough, just like with what Josh Allen is. But I mean, Dart pretty early on, like playing well. And I like the Cam Ward tools. I'm pretty in on it. How do you feel about the Dayball to the Titans?
I mean, I think that's a good fit. I think Saleh there is going to be. It's kind of funny because Saleh's the dollar store version of Vrabel, essentially, which they forced out. So they're like, actually, never mind. Like, we want Vrabel back. Let's get us, let's get our version of Vrabel.
Yeah.
But I do think that's a good way of doing it because that team just doesn't have a floor. Like, the floor is the worst team in the league. So you kind of need a guy in there that it can build that discipline. Like, I just remember watching the Panthers when we had Jimmy Clausen and we were calling up people off the couch. Shouts to Vinny Testaverde. And our team was just so bad that we brought in Ron Rivera, who didn't really have a huge ceiling as a coach, but he was able to be like, don't do stupid decisions, like be kind of that disciplined CEO type that kind of fix things. And then once you lose the coordinators, we had McDermott. Once we lost him to the Bills, and the entire defense fell apart and everything went to crap. But, like, I think it's Saleh's kind of in that vein of a CEO, like the standard is a standard type coach, which the Titans are a perfect team that needs that. It's the same thing with like Harbaugh to the Giants, where it's like these teams are winning 3 games a year. They would love to win 7 to 9 games a year. Like, they just want to be in the conversation. Yeah, so I think it's a great hire. And Dable, he did pretty good with Josh Allen. He has a decent track record. That being said, like, how much is it Dable? How much is it Josh Allen? Because Josh Allen has kind of been hero balling every single year since. So, we'll have to see how that progresses. But I thought Cam Ward looked pretty solid towards the end of the year.
Yeah.
There's some pieces to work with on the Titans, and they have another high draft pick. So, we could maybe see them start to put some things together.
And I think too, like with all these news reports, I think of it in 2 kind of veins, and a lot of times these line up well. But the first one is my opinion of the hire. So like I like Dayball. Like I'm pretty excited about prospects for Cam Ward, whatever receivers they bring in. The Will vibes, that's what it is. The second one I think is like the market take, like the general feeling when you're at random X person, John in your sleeper league gets a little notification. Dayball, offensive coordinator for the Titans. What goes on in John's mind in regards to Cam? Yeah, shout out to John. In regards to Cam Ward's fantasy value and how liquid players are and value changes based off of these reports. And I do think that Dayball is a name that I think people can kind of tie a little bit of hopium excitement around Cam Ward, who overall had a pretty disappointing rookie season for a quarterback, but I think a lot of things to be excited about Cam Ward being a long-term QB2, that being in the realm of possibility, which matters. Quick question though. I wanted to ask based off of this. Cleveland Browns are an absolute joke. Who is starting the majority of games at quarterback for the Cleveland Browns next season? Especially with where they're at the draft. This draft, they have the 6th spot. Quarterback class is looking pretty weak.
Okay, I think
Shador?
not to hijack this.
Yeah.
I think we should have like a running segment for anyone that comes on the show. And it's just 2 questions. It's just predictions of where do you think Tua will be at the start of the year?
Yeah.
Or where do you think Kyler will be? Because my gut would be they have Shador and they maybe get Kyler or try to bring somebody in.
Oh, Kyler in a Browns uniform.
But because I was sitting here yesterday and I was like, where the hell, especially Kyler, because Tua's contract is kind of a behemoth. It's kind of harder to get out of.
Yeah.
Kyler, we know, is not going to play for the Cardinals. I could see Tua starting for the Dolphins next year and just being like a tank commander.
I want to quick interject on the Cardinals thing.
And it's like, where is Kyler? Like, what is the Kyler spot? Because outside of Cleveland, I don't really know.
Are you 100%? I think just with like the coaching staff changes, like I think if Gannon stayed and everything was the exact same as last season, I would be with you. 100-0, Kyler's gone. Do you think that's still the case with potentially like a new staff? Okay, all right. I just want to ask if it was 100. Okay, because my only thing is like, what do the Cardinals plan at quarterback, and is it running it back with Jacoby? And that I think that's another wrinkle in the equation of you have to have a starting quarterback in the NFL for NFL games. That's how it works. Planning and deciding that heading into the season,
straight up for Ty Simpson.
Yeah. And then you got the Malik Willis wrinkle in things as well. I think it's going to be a pretty fun QB carousel. Follow Will's Twitter. I just inspire myself to write a tweet. I'm going to do my QB predictions tonight.
Inspired.
While I'm going pee after
the
this
current
stream.
roster, Sanders is the guy. But I imagine they bring someone in. And it might just be bringing a Malik Willis. It might be bringing a Kyler. But I imagine it's going to be somebody.
Mm-hmm. All right, we got a trade question here. What is up, Z-Hop? 24. Hey, gang, how do you feel about A.J. Brown, Laporta, a 27-second, and a 28-second for Terry, Kincaid, the 110, and the 112? Ooh. Any unique aspects, tight end premium, how many starters in this one, Z-Hop?
I guess my question would be, my gut without the format and context is I would probably say give me the A.J. Brown, Laporta in the 2 seconds because the 110 to 112.
0.75 12 by time.
Like the upgrade from Terry to A.J. Brown and Laporta or Kincaid to Laporta is probably worth me also gaining some flexibility. Like the seconds aren't as valuable as a late first in 2026, but after the draft, I still have my 2 seconds. So I still have additional flexibility that I wouldn't have if I ended up taking, I mean, God, I don't even know who's at the 112 in 2026 right now. But you get my point there.
Yeah. Yeah, 12 by 10. I do lean the A.J. Brown, Laporta side. I mean, pretty weird year for Laporta, obviously with the injury as well. I'm still pretty in on confident.
They got the Cardinals guy now, Spetzing or whatever.
Yeah, Petzing, you just put in Laporta's just the new Trey McBride. No, I do like Laporta, especially tight end premium versus Kincaid in terms of like the upside for big reception games, but there's just something that's like outside of our perception of the 26 class being weak towards the 110 and 112 versus those seconds. That's kind of what's eating at me. Because A.J. Brown, Laporta, Terry, Kincaid is not like an insane tier up, but I think I'm probably fine taking A.J. Brown, Laporta side. Okay, all right. I just needed to sit with it for a second. We're with you. We've united.
You got to talk himself through it.
W deal. If I got offered Kincaid and a 112 for Laporta and a second, I decline. And if I got offered Terry and the 112, 10 for Brown and a second, I decline. That's my justification. Okay. Yeah. They're pretty close though. I'm
I mean, it's a fair-ish deal.
Yeah.
I just think the 110, the 112, you're going to look at and be like, okay, in this type of format, like,
Yeah.
was that worth it? Like a Bashal Tootin type player that maybe will play, maybe won't. Um, I'm fine just saying, give me AJ Brown, give me Laporta. I think AJ Brown has a lot of room to potentially grow from a value perspective going into next year, especially if there's a trade that happens as well. I mean, if he goes to Buffalo, if he goes to New England, if he, like, there's a lot of options out there and teams that are looking for a true wide receiver one. And AJ Brown's quietly, not so quietly, been like, hey, I kind of want to have a quarterback that can throw the ball to me.
Yeah. And I mean, there's a chance we get a huge AJ Brown value bump too. If all signs are pointing to a change. I just can't. I mean, can you even imagine a team AJ Brown would go to that would not be like a big boon for people's opinion of his dynasty value and the production he's going to give you?
Well, the hard part with AJ Brown is literally like, if you look up Jalen Hurts passes, like it's not even. I'm not even trying to poop on Jalen Hurts. It's literally just some games he just doesn't throw the ball a lot. And obviously they have a new coordinator and a lot of things are going to change, but still, it's like there's 15 passes, week 15, 20 passes, 23 passes, 24 passes, 22 passes, 23. Like, that volume is really hard. It's really hard to actually get meaningful targets. You catch 4 passes, that's like a 20% target share.
I'm with it. I do think whenever there's Hurts slander, I do feel the need to, because I know you're a Hurts fantasy point producer supporter. I know that you've echoed that sentiment. I've seen him go.
He's a good value.
He's been falling real far in and it's hard to tell like how accurate these like initial startup boards and mocks and everything actually are, but I've seen him fall pretty far. Like outside of the first, I've seen him even go like late second. But anytime there's Jalen Hurts slander, I do think he's a pretty good deep ball thrower. But yeah, the on time hitting over the middle that AJ Brown has excelled in his career, like crossing routes and quick slants, has not been as easy and cooking. All right, we do have one and it's the classic. Shout out to Hemp and Hillbilly. I'm gonna throw it over to you, Jeremy. Wait, let me ask Jeremy a question. JSN, see your Dynasty wide receiver one. That's the second part of the thumbnail. You're in a startup. Are you taking JSN over Chase?
I mean, if I had to, probably. But I don't know. I mean, I think like Dynasty wide receiver one is like, it's like kind of a participation trophy in a respectful way. Like, it's like, hey, you're one of the best 6 wide receivers. But I don't know which one it will be. Like Puka was wide receiver 1 for part of the year. Jamar Chase will have those weeks, and you're like, oh my God, he's wide receiver 1. Amon-Ra early in the year, borderline was wide receiver 1. Like, so to me, I'm like, I want anyone that can put up those seasons. If I had to pick right now, yeah, Jason is the guy. Especially with that team, they're probably going to lose their offensive coordinator though, so there could be a little bit of regression next year. But I'm not too concerned about JSN. And I do want to shout out this one trade here. So subtitled chip. I don't know why I always think it's subtle, but it's obviously not. But
subtitled chip is never subtle.
This morning, someone offered me Rashee Rice for Luther Burden straight up. And I will say, I go through the Dynasty Daddy trade database, and I pull trades and post them on my socials and stuff. I posted, someone made basically that trade. I think it was like Luther Burden in a third or something for Rashee Rice. I posted that on Reddit and got flamed. Everyone's like, brother, I can't help you. And I'm like, the crazy thing is people are doing that. People are sending those deals out. Like, some people do very much value Luther Burden that high. But yeah, I mean, I think Rashee Rice is still the solid buy here. Luther Burden has an opportunity, but I'm gonna just stick with the guy that is basically 30% of that passing offense tied to Mahomes.
Yeah, it's tough. Like when those reports and stuff come out, and whenever you're in the this guy's a bad person vibes with trades, it gets a little sketchy. I do like Burden a lot, but yeah, in terms of
moral argument.
Yeah. All right, I do have the
locker room.
Yeah. All right, I do have the Hemp and Hillbilly team. Shout out to Hemp and Hillbilly. I want to work with you on you sending me the link to on dynastydaddy.com, but it's okay because I make issues for Jeremy all the time, so I can suck it up and post a screenshot here. All right, I have a trade offer as well in here, but let me pull up. You ever thought you were ready and you're just not?
No, that's never happened to me.
Never ever.
What's this league called?
No, man. You see. You gotta ask Larry that. All right, I do.
Oh no, I'm in.
How do you find it so quick? You go to the username. How many leagues?
3 leagues. There we go.
Oh, okay.
I fixed it for you.
Wait, did you oh, there we go. See, this is why they pay you the big bucks.
I mean, if I can't figure it out, then I can't expect anyone else to.
Yeah, that's true. I'm just here for the I'm just here because of my looks. All right, let me share the old screen.
Okay, let's see.
Which is kind of funny because it actually is just the same thing that I was looking at before. But
God damn, that's spicy. That's a spicy trade. Do you have it pulled up?
I do. I want to do something first. I want to get the chat overlay. All right, the trade is Saquon for Manungai in a second, and I will pull that up in a second. You guys have to bear with me, all right?
It is crazy the drop off on the Saquon hype.
Yeah.
Like I get the regression of like last year. Last year I was like, definitely you want to sell him. Like it just doesn't make sense. His values are very high. Yada yada yada. But now I'm sitting here, I'm like, Manungai in a second? For a guy that could be a top 5 running back in the league? I'm just not interested in that. Like from the other side. I mean, like getting Barkley is a steal, even though Manungai is shown some flashes, but there's I think Swift is still under contract, and there's also rumors that ETN to Chicago apparently. So you never know, but I doubt there's going to be a full rollout for Manungai, and I mean a second is probably not worth. A single second is probably not worth enough for me to say, okay, yes, I'll ship away Barkley.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm happily taking the Saquon side, even though you have a pretty good running back room, like Bijan, Gentry, ETN, and then Manungai.
Do you think this was more of a? I have a lot of players here, and I want to like pick up some flexibility in the future.
So I could see that the inverse way, like if this team that has no picks in 26 but has a pretty strong roster is like, I need to turn some of these assets, point scoring players into a player and a pick so that next year I can move a second to get, whatever, scoring, smashing running back in season. Do you have any hesitance with this type of deal when you don't have any picks in 26? And you're digging into 27? I think you can pretty easily cash out Saquon for a second 100% in season. Like even at Saquon's lowest, like the 3 straight dud games. Eagles offense sucks.
Right?
It's more than a second. So to me, that's why I'm
Yeah.
always fine taking this deal. I do think that what I would say, in addition to just telling you, yes, take this deal, is be willing to move some of these other players. Like you have Pickens, Rice. I mean, Hunter is probably a name that you were going to find yourself talking about sometime soon to turn into picks and flexibility, especially with like a pretty decent receiver room. You know, Pickens, Rice, Pittman, Watson,
we've
Myers.
Been harsh on this channel about Hunter, and you know, my co-host here,
you've been harsh.
Got rid of all his shares.
I've been quiet
of Travis Hunter.
Yeah.
So I got to hold the bag on Travis Hunter a little bit. I got to hold it down for the Dynasty Daddy stream.
Wait, so you are holding a bag that you don't want to hold just for the sake of what I did to the people
for the bit.
By hyping up.
Bit. Okay. I have one Travis Hunter. I will say on this team, I'm definitely open to moving Travis Hunter. I like the Watson. I think Christian Watson's kind of an undervalued guy going into next year. Jacoby Myers is always that guy, and Coker is also an amazing flex option, especially after what we saw in the playoff game. I think they're going to continue to roll him out as that wide receiver too. The Panthers have so many needs; they're not going to draft a wide receiver, like a high-end wide receiver.
Yeah, in a 0.75 tight end premium, like your tight ends, like I don't think any of these are like obviously smash first round pick plus players, but in a 0.75, you could move Strange, you can move Kincaid, you can move Gadsden, and these are kind of the perfect guys too. Like Waller and Parkinson, especially when you have tight end rooms that look like this, and you have like 4 or 5 guys that you could reasonably start. Like if I'm in my 12x10s, I see somebody starting Bretton Strange, Kincaid, Gadsden. I don't feel like unless I have some of the studs, I don't feel like I have a confident advantage. Like these are reasonable starters. Like I want to make sure I'm moving the Darren Wallers after a 2 touchdown game, the Parkinsons. Now this is a little retroactive, obviously, because I don't know if anyone's expecting Waller or Parkinson week 1 to have 2 touchdown games or anything. And I'm not just here to say like, this is what you should have done, idiot. Like, you should have done the right dynasty thing. I just think that it's important to keep this in your mind heading into the season when these players have value, because this can look a little less bare than no 26 picks. If you turned Darren Waller into a third, you turned, Parkinson into a third with 4th round pick swaps or something, because you don't need these tight ends.
This league is kind of crazy.
Are you looking at other teams or just?
Well, I just noticed the contender. There's 10 contenders.
Yeah.
It's just because this one team is so bad it weighs down all the other teams. But that's just a funny observation there. I mean, honestly, this 4-10 team: Amon-Ra, Justin Jefferson, Alec Pierce, Javonte, Kenneth Walker, Swift, Bo Nix, Purdy, Pitts, Goddard. I mean, it's not a terrible team.
Yeah.
But they went 4-10.
No, and there was a note to, personally, I think the best thing I do for this team is to stop screwing with it, yes or no. I think that the Monangai second Saquon deal, like I would just be fine without even knowing anything about format. I think for the most part, I'm fine doing that. Yeah. I think if you were like really, really barren picks, like you didn't have any 27s and like 28, you were even digging into a little bit, and I didn't feel like you could move other players for picks to give you more flexibility, I might be a little hesitant, but I think it's a good deal overall, and that you can always get out on Saquon, unless he tears his ACL next season. Knock on wood. Or something.
Yeah, I mean, I think Saquon is someone that would tip the scales even more in this team's favor, and the fact that you don't even have to give up a 1st-round pick to get him is a win. I imagine you took Kyle Monangai super late in the draft, or didn't give a lot up to actually get him. So to me, I'm like, that's perfect. Let me slot in a guy that, even if he sucks like he did last year, he's still going to be the running back 1 for the Eagles, and is going to get 10 to 20 touches a game and be a very key part of that offense. And if there's anything you want to do, I would just say, okay, what can I do with Travis Hunter? That would be the only question I would have. It's like, can I get out and get some decent value for Travis Hunter? If not, then it's like that's like a take a little walk outside, sit on a random bench, breathe into fresh air, and be like, do I want to hold Travis Hunter to potentially 0 or to the moon? And that's the real question. But other than that, I do think your roster is pretty solid, and there's not a ton I would do unless if someone's like, hey, I'll get rid of Saquon for a crazy deal. And then you're like, okay, well, I guess I'll have to do that because that's an amazing deal.
I'm with you. I'm trying to do the Jeremy thing. I saw, shout out Hemp and Hillbilly, posted another team in the chat, and I'm trying to locate it. And I thought that by the time I explained that installed, I would have clicked through the 3 teams fast enough to do that. I did not. And I'm going to the 3rd one right now.
Is it Trade Addicts?
It is. Was that the first one you would have gone to? That was my...
Well, you just said that you're like, I'm going to the next one. So I was like, well, I guess you went to the...
maybe this is alt account. The one the screenshot I see could be user error. It's happened before with this stream.
Oh, the phone picture?
Yeah.
That's a different team.
In that league?
Is it in the same league?
Oh, where'd you go? Okay, there you go.
I think it's in the same league.
All right.
Is that the Barkley team?
I think this is when Will's getting lost. I'm getting a little...
Because the username's different. It's Pickle Rick. With a 3 for knee.
Not everyone's as observant as you. Okay. Also, I got confused because I saw this team is committed to the Jags, and I was like trying to look for the Jaguars on this team. I saw that note. Maybe this is committed to the Just a Guys.
Okay, so it's in the same league as the other one.
Okay.
I don't know the context.
Okay. So you think that there's a chance that I'm not a total idiot, just a little idiot.
This team is committed to the Jags. Also, I've already accepted.
Nice.
I also sent a pic of the potential starting lineup.
I did see that. I was getting a little stressed out. I'm not gonna lie. There was a lot of things I was clicking. my downloads folder is kind of crazy. I probably should comb through that. That sounded weird. I mean like I meant like total quantity.
There we go.
Nothing weird.
Sub special as we comb through Will's
nothing weird in Will's downloads. Do not take that out of context. Just the quantity.
That's a clip. That's a clip right there.
Just the quantity. That'll be the we were talking about changing the video style to have the first part be like we say something interesting, like some kind of, and it'll just be that. That'll be the start of the video.
Yeah, that'll be the intro.
That'll get people to watch. That'll get somebody from the government to watch. All right.
Everyone's wondering what's in your download file.
That's only for the best ball stream. Which they do have best ball contests.
Oh.
I don't know if I'll do any this early. I did some of the before the NFL draft ones because I thought it'd be kind of fun to like, see if I could call out some rookies that are going to get drafted way earlier than. I'll probably do a couple, but let me see. Oh my goodness. I just got jump scared by this Alv one. Do you see that one?
I did.
All right. I think this is a team effort. All right. And I'm actually going to share my screen just so that the people know what we're cooking with right now. Shout out to Alf. Excited. I see the thanks again, fellas. The thankful individual. Appreciate that. I see Hempen down here. Getting ready. All right. I am going to get the message ready. Can you locate the league for me and send me a link?
I am looking into that right now.
There we go. This is a team effort.
One.
Nice. Oh, it's beautiful. All right.
I think it's this one.
What's a take Will could spew right now while we're stalling to pull up Alv's message? Who is the most undervalued player in Dynasty heading into this offseason? I probably should focus.
I like Christian Watson. I'm gonna be honest. I feel like that's a cheap gross one. People might talk themselves into Golden. People might talk themselves into Reed.
Oh, there's some Golden here.
But Christian Watson looked like the guy there, and he'll have 6 good games before he gets injured again. But those 6 games are probably worth a third or whatever you trade for him.
He was, and I think the fun thing with Christian Watson too, and there's a little bit of no Reed, but I mean, even when Reed plays, we know the type of usage Reed gets. No Tucker Kraft for a handful of that, but they were using Watson in different ways than when he was run straight, fast.
Yeah,
see if you
he's
can catch
just
his Aaron
a run
Rodgers
straight,
bomb.
3 catches, 2 touchdowns or whatever. But he actually was way more involved this year.
All right, here we go. All right, I'm gonna hit you with the double. Here we go. Okay. All right, I'm pulling up all the trade screenshots. There's a lot of them. Okay. So
that's impressive.
Don't be mad at me, guys. I'm gonna switch over. I'll pull up the question for this team as well. And then I'll read it out and I'll pull up the trades. Sound like a plan? All right.
Do it.
12 by 10. 0.75 10 in premium, PPR, Superflex. First time winning the Dynasty title in 25. Let's go. Thanks, guys. Let's go. Attachment trades I've made in the league since it ended. My question is below. Should I secure my QB2 with Burrow, or am I overpaying and sending Love, Golden plus picks? I think these are trade related, so let me get those ready. This first one is the 3-team. Have you done a three-team trade recently at all in any leagues? I could never get those to go through.
It's been like a year.
I feel like it's so hard to find.
In my home league, I'll be like trying to get a trade through, and it'll be like, how about a 3-team trade? And I'm like, brother, I can barely get you to agree to, like, I can
we don't agree on something.
Yeah, I'm like, bringing in another person is just gonna make it even more complicated. So I love a good 3-team trade though.
My 3-team trade experience usually stems from somebody wants something, and I am telling them, like, I am sorry, I don't see a deal for you to get my Amon-Ra St. Brown. Like, you don't have anyone positionally. I don't care about up-tiering. And they're like, all right, let me loop in a third person who can help me get Amon-Ra St. Brown. They just have to give up their really good player.
To load up one team with all the assets and then have another team get some sort of kickback off of it.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Shout out to Alv. All right, so this first trade is getting Burrow and Schultz, the 212, a 27-second, and $300 fab, which let us know to Alv. Like, give us the fab breakdown. Is this heading into next season? Do we have a fab total number? It's 12 by 10.
So this is the potential trade. The potential trade that would happen to secure QB2.
Ooh, man. Love Golden, a 27 first, and the 112.
I will say my gut, now we're obviously going to dive into it a little more.
Oh, I love this team.
My gut is you have May and Love. I'm fine with those. Like, I don't, like, Burrow is certainly an upgrade, but, like, do I want to kill my 27, 28, mainly 27 flexibility here for that upgrade? Probably not right now.
Yeah.
You know, maybe if it's week 6, Love is injured, out for the year, and I need a quarterback, and I send Love in the 27 first, that can get it done. And it's like, well, I need it now.
Yeah.
But in the offseason, I'm like, yeah, like this is fine. You know, I should be able to piece together some sort of backup quarterback platoon to also provide any sort of, you know, buffer in case Jordan Love or Drake May do get injured.
Yeah.
But I don't think I would need to upgrade that for that type of price. That would be my hunch.
Yeah. Yeah, I have 2 things. I agree with what you said. The difference in terms of, like, winning week to week, Jordan Love versus Joe Burrow, like, yes, give me Joe Burrow, especially, you know, Bengals situation, expectations for next season. But at the price of 112 and then your own first in 27, especially like we were just talking about with the last team, like, you just have the 112 this year. and then no other 26 picks. You don't have a second in 2027. To me, when you have these, I mean, this is like, you're closely approaching super team with Bijan, CMC, JSN, Puka, Amonra, Nico, Olave, Devontae Adams. And we're not even getting down to like Pearsall, Golden, Watson, wide receivers that carry value. Drake May, Jordan Love. Like with these kind of teams, the worst thing you can do is keep pushing in your picks to like minorly upgrade positions and projections. To me, I'd much rather be going the opposite way with this team, even if it's with some of these receivers. Like, I mean, I don't want to move JSN, Puka, or Amonra. I don't even really want to move Nico or Olave. But when you have so many like stud receivers and you're starting to dig into, okay, you only have the 112 this year, you got your 27 first. One would rather hold than make this kind of deal. I'm going to throw something to you, Jeremy. Would you do this type of, because I think we're on the same page. Would you do this type of trade if instead of Joe Burrow, it was one of Josh Allen, Lamar, and you weren't getting the seconds back? So you're giving Jordan Love, Golden, 27 first, 112 for Lamar or Josh Allen. Would you do that?
Yeah, I probably would.
I would probably check on that. Like, I'd be willing to do that just in the terms of like confident smash expectations at that position. And maybe, I don't know, am I a Burrow hater to do that whole spiel about not wanting to do that and then removing the seconds and doing it for Allen or Lamar? Am I a Burrow hater? Because I think you could argue that process doesn't line up if I'm willing to do that. But I just think those guys are just so. And I believe in Lamar too.
Sometimes there's outliers, and Josh Allen being QB1 or 2 for the past 6 years is that.
Okay, thank you.
And I bet that over a guy that's been injured for 3 of the past 5 seasons, and even when his best season was like what, QB3 or 4, it wasn't better than Josh Allen.
Yeah.
So I feel like the consistency of Josh Allen is much more stable. And that's why, like, if I'm going to really send 2 first-round picks, Golden, which I don't care about a ton, but and Josh Allen and Love, I would really need to be getting up into that top tier.
Yeah.
And to be honest, like Lamar Jackson, I think will be fine. But like Lamar is banged up. Jane Daniels, like
what's the JD5 price? What's the JD5 price, man?
Honestly, I would only do it for Josh Allen.
Okay, that's fair.
My team is loaded. If I can have Josh Allen, Drake May, like watch out.
Yeah, the other thing that I'll add on to is just like you never know what you need until you need it in fantasy, especially with how random injuries can be. Like, I mean, think about everyone who was locking in, 16 points per game for Brian Thomas Jr. Like, stuff like that just happens in fantasy, and that's why we talk about pick flexibility so much. So, I mean, God forbid CMC coming off of an insane touch season, whatever, ETN goes to the Bears and David Montgomery's role is as bad as it was, towards the middle tail end of the season. And you're like, dang, I really wish I had a first next year to move, or, whatever I use this 112 on, or kick to the future for future picks, to fill out my RB room versus having a Drake May, Joe Burrow QB room.
Yeah, I think the way I would position this team in the offseason is, can I move some of these wide receivers and pick up some just random depth at running back, right? Can I just get some more bodies in there? And then also, like you said, QB2, do I need an upgrade? I don't think you need an upgrade. Love is certainly fine. He was like QB 13 last year in fantasy points. But I do think some of these guys on waivers should be rostered. I think especially Davis Mills, given how CJ Stroud's gone. Davis Mills is like 2 bad CJ Stroud games away from being the actual starter. So I'm much more inclined to say, let me just try to stack the cards now, because in the offseason, like you said, everyone just slots in, oh, this player, Nico Collins is going to give me 20 points per game, and Devontae Adams is totally not going to have touchdown regression next year or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, everyone slots in the exact same production or elite production that the previous season or the healthy players have. I'm not trying to make huge bets to make the perfect offseason roster. I want the most flexible roster that can be competitive going into the season. Because during the season, when we actually have real data that we can use, then I know who I need to actually go out and buy. You know, like last year, I've been like, oh yeah, go out and buy the Alvin Kamaras, go out and buy these crusty guys.
James Conner.
But then when you buy a crusty and they are nothing and you can't sell them or move them, it's probably better for you to say, I'd rather just have the flexibility going into next year. And then I can buy the crusty when that happens, right? You can actually, instead of buying
in season,
Alvin Kamara, you can be like, oh, Javonte Williams usage is very good. I'm going to actually go buy that instead.
Yeah.
And then you have the flexibility. So that I think that's kind of the strategy is like, you need the core pieces. You need the guys in the green, right? The big green numbers. But outside of that, it's how flexible is my roster and how competitive is my roster, right? Some guys we know are going to be absolute studs. McCaffrey, you know, like Amon-Ra, Puka, JSN, and like Nico and Drake May. Like you got those guys and Bijan.
This team is pretty.
Jordan Love doesn't have to be amazing, right?
Yeah.
Jordan Love just has to do his job, right? And like Gadsden, Ferguson, like they just need to do their job.
Yeah.
So like to me, I'm like this roster is perfect for the offseason. If anything, maybe get a little funky. Want to sell Chris Olave? Want to sell Devontae Adams? Like you probably could sell some of this wide receiver.
You're having to bench one of these guys.
Flexibility.
And like
the wide receiver 6 or something.
Yeah, and the flexibility too is like, especially when you're moving from excess to like at that wide receiver position, like the flexibility can turn right back into one. It could be a receiver if you need like the thing that you ended up moving for the flexibility, but the flexibility aspect means it could be anything, or help you close the deal out if you're doing an up tier. But yeah, I think if you're quarterback too, like I know we all had teams that had like we were banking on Cam Ward starts early in the season. Like if you had a quarterback like that you felt like was a detriment to your chance at winning every week, I could see you like really pushing in and using future picks to solidify. But I think Jordan Love doesn't fall into that. I do have the other trades that I could pull up. Oh, I realize I'm blocking my beautiful face. Appreciate the insight, guys. Oh yeah, what's good? That deserves a little flash there. What's up, Jake? Appreciate the insight, guys. I feel like I'm big game hunting with Burrow, and the Bears fan in me is sick to start Love. I feel that as a Lions fan, so we can work through that together.
Hey, if you want to tier, like go get Caleb Williams. You know, go get that. That's just at least more fun for you to watch.
Here's what I will give you. There is a Packers fan at my. It's actually kind of funny. The company I work for is in Minnesota. Okay, I'm a Lions fan. I work there. Remote. There's a Packers fan who works there, and we'll talk back and forth about NFC North drama. And I told him, I apologized. I said, hey man, I'm sorry about the Packers game. I, for the first time in a long time, was rooting for the Packers to beat the Bears. The Packers have always been, and it's been mostly Aaron Rodgers fueled, have always been my most hated NFC North team. And I don't know, the Ben Johnson of it all got to me. All right, sorry, that was a little personal thing I had to work through there. It's dude, I like Ben Johnson, but no, I just can't. Go Lions.
He doesn't have like the Dan Campbell like Dan Campbell has like there's
something off there.
Kind of like the macho man, like the lovable macho man type. Whereas Ben Johnson's got more of that like douchebag nerd vibes.
Yes. All right, let's go through some of these trades. So these are the trades that happened to get this team to this point. So right here, I believe this was postseason. I believe this was recent, right? Because it was, I think, at the end of the year.
It's in the 2026 season.
Stafford, Jacobs, Egbuka, or Puka Nacua. I think especially with this team, I'm just taking Puka, 100%. I think there's certain teams or formats where you could convince me. I probably would want to feel a little bit better about the Egbuka projection, but I think with the sketchiness behind the Egbuka value point right now,
9.
12 team start 9. Yeah. 12 team start 10. You're Drake set at quarterback.
Where's the team starter?
Yeah, I think this is a great move because you know what you can always do with Puka Nacua? You can turn him into 3 firsts. I think like any day of the week you want, you could do that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of like like if you get an actual difference maker in fantasy, there's like 10 players that actually matter.
Yeah.
And Puka is one of those guys. And you kind of just get Puka and you're like, I can figure out how to replace the Egbuka 3 catches production that he had for the last 8 weeks. I can find that elsewhere. I don't need to, like I can sell high on those guys, sell high on Stafford, sell mid on Jacobs, and sell high on Egbuka. I'm all for that deal. It's the same reason. It's like I'm not doing that for Joe Burrow. I'm doing that for Josh Allen, right?
Yeah.
With your Jordan Love tier up. Like I need to get the guy if I am going to overpay for somebody, or quote unquote overpay.
All right, we got another one here. This was another trade. This was acquiring. So this was before that move. Got Devontae Adams, Josh Jacobs, Nico Collins for Tesla, the 201 and a 27 first. It's Matty Ices. And there's a couple 27 first trades here. And I think it's going to be fascinating to see some of these 27 first deals in terms of what you can use them to get. And I think this is one of those examples where the 27 first and the 201 in a class that people do not like. All right, so this is interesting. That's an early 27 first, which I think makes sense for this deal to happen. But if it's this team, now granted their team name is Fire Sale, but okay, no picks. This is probably the biggest fire sale. No picks. But dude, they're rolling out Lamar. They're rolling out Lamar, Stafford, Kyron, Jacobs, Derrick Henry, Tony Pollard, Chuba. They only have to start 2 receivers.
Like, I'm going to take Puka from you.
Okay.
And I'm going to use your first round pick to buy a bunch of things, right? Like you bought Jacobs, Devontae, Nico, and then you're like, okay, well, I don't have your pick anymore, so now I can help you. And I'm going to give you Jacobs and all these other players, but give me back Puka. So I mean, I don't hate it. I mean, I do think it would probably be like a top 6 pick in the 26 class.
And I'm curious too, because I see he's looking to move off his vets, but he doesn't have his first. So is the plan? Is there a third part of this plan? Is there a second part? Because that doesn't really check out in my brain. Like you're only making your 27 third pick better by not trying to compete this year. This deal happened before I traded for Puka, right?
Yeah, he used that deal and then traded Jacobs to the Matty Ice guy in the Puka deal.
Right. Okay. All right. There's a third trade.
Alv, Hempen Hillbilly said, wouldn't Alv want to upgrade the tight end room with the excess wide receiver depth? That is honestly, that's another option there, is seeing, can you go get a Loveland or get someone that you feel a little bit better at? Because you do have guys that are hyped up, Jake Ferguson, Gadsden. Like
I don't mind rolling with Gadsden, Ferg, but
staple Adams to Gadsden and say, maybe I can get a Loveland or something like that.
Mm-hmm. All right, now what about this? This is an interesting one. Jordan Love in the 201 or Woody Marks and a 27 first. I think where this 27 first is, I think I like the Love side.
Whose pick is it?
So this is Vincent Joyce's. TBD is the team name, and they have Josh Allen, Mahomes, Purdy, JT, Javonte, Swift, Benson, Vidal, Jalen Waddle, Metcalf, Pierce, Michael Wilson, Worthy, Judy, Goddard, Tungus. They had the 111, 201, 210 this year. Don't really have 27 picks, but like this could easily be a playoff team.
Yeah, and one thing that is hard is it's not 26 picks. It's like,
right.
It's like a year and a half. Like it's hard to really project these things out. But that being said, I mean, I don't hate it. You lock in, and that's why like I already traded a 27 first round pick for Jordan Love. I'm not trying to pay 2 more to go from Jordan Love to Burrow. I'm like I made my bed here with Love, and hey, you're a Bears fan. If you want to say, can I staple a second to Love and get Caleb Williams or something in that works, sure. If you want to move the 112 plus Love and get Caleb Williams, that's a fan. That's a fan move. I get it, but I wouldn't be like I need to get the Joe Burrow for this team.
Dude, this guy's hard tanking. Lucas is his team name. I'm trading everyone in all caps. You got that Michael Penix, Aaron Rodgers, Kirk Cousins, QB room, which we didn't really talk about. Rodgers, the McCarthy press conference. Obviously there's going to be questions about Rodgers. And I think like we all are expecting, McCarthy was like, yes, obviously would love to have him back. But we're not going to find out until Rodgers makes that decision. So I'm sure it'll be a fun, long. Hopefully we'll find out before the NFL draft just to see if because that was kind of the weird thing with the Steelers heading into last year's draft is the reporting around, okay, do you know if Aaron Rodgers is your quarterback, Mike Tomlin, or are you addressing that in this draft? But yeah, 427 firsts. Oh wait, 5. Jeez, let's go. Thanks to his tank,
right?
Yeah, it's beautiful.
No 26 first though.
Yeah, the content with Love thing is I don't have any issues tearing off of, especially that range. I have preferences. I like Purdy a decent amount. The range above that, I like Herbert compared to where they're valued. But I think sometimes you can get yourself behind when you pay up for Burrow and you're looking at yourself. You're like, this team is sick, but I already used my firsts. I don't need to do the whole flexibility spiel. We all get it, right, Jeremy?
I mean, I will say, would you try to tier down?
Oh,
because you're talking about not super far down, but you could probably take Jordan Love and try to get Jared Goff or Baker Mayfield or Sam Darnold.
Are you?
And what's your QB2?
Is your intention just for more picks? Like you do Love?
Yeah, it probably is just get me more flexibility. Then once the season rolls around, I have an extra, some extra ammo I can use. If I'm not in love with Jordan Love, I can at least shave some value without really impacting your window, right? Jordan Love, 241 fantasy points this year. Baker Mayfield, 282. Jared Goff, 305. Sam Darnold, 249. So, I mean, points-wise, the projections are probably going to be pretty favorable in terms of what you expect. You could probably also get C.J. Stroud. I don't know if you want to, but after that game, I'm sure a lot of people are not feeling too confident about him going into his next year. Probably going to get a decent discount on him as well.
Yeah. I in practice have found those trades pretty tough when it's it's easier for me to do that in a startup when I'm trading down in a range and I'm like, yeah, everyone loves these quarterbacks, but I'd be fine with, whatever, Trevor Lawrence, Brock Purdy, whatever. I'll trade down. It's fine. Dak Prescott. But yeah, I think in practice, those are tougher to do unless the range is pretty wide. You're going all the way down to Cam Ward or, the tier up on the other side is all the way up
Bryce
to
Young.
Drake May. Bryce Young. There you go.
Dynasty Jakes.
This is his year.
Dynasty Jakes. Every one of his rosters is just Bryce Young.
Bryce Young. Get him some moon shoes. All right, Yeah, and I saw the note too about the I think the one interesting aspect of the tier down or up that you were talking about at the quarterback position is you do have kind of the pairing flexibility of, I think it's probably difficult to do here's Love, give me Goff and a pick, but if it's here's Love and Chris Olave or here's Love and Devontae Adams, can I have your whatever Goff and future pick? Yo, what's up, AJ?
Just say, shouts to AJ.
Yeah,
plays the games every day. Thanks for checking out the live stream.
Maybe we'll start, especially in the off season too. We'll start sprinkling in some of the Dynasty Daddy, NFL, Wordle games. That
you got to test our knowledge. It's gonna be bad.
Yeah. I'm sure it will be, especially too.
The amount of times where I'm like, okay, who played for the Bucks and the Chargers? And I'm like, wait a minute, like why can't I come up with that?
The tough thing is my this guy knows ball range is so limited to fantasy relevant players through like the seasons that I played, Lions players, and then like cool defense or special teams players, like Champ Bailey.
I know
he was cool.
I need to grind Madden more. I need to the people that are good at that are the ones that buy Madden every single year.
Yeah.
Like I will buy it like once every 5 years. I'm like, okay, give me the updated like close-ish graphics and stuff, and I'll be like, yep, this is the same roster. Joe Mixon is still on the Bengals. Like this is how it goes.
I do have a Madden guilty pleasure, I have to confess, and I think it stems from I think everyone did this. You're in the driveway, you're pretending that you're playing basketball for the Pistons or whatever, or you make a March Madness bracket and you're playing as all the teams and you're counting down in your head. I love me some Madden Superstar. Turn the lights off, listening to a podcast or something, and Will, quarterback of the Detroit Lions after they moved off of Goff, leading the team to the Super Bowl. Nothing like it. Reading defenses. And by reading defenses, I mean, let's run slants again. See if we can get Amon-Ra or J-Mo over there.
I always do. I always do the
I was a big slot cross guy.
I'm a sucker. I'm a sucker for meshes with like a corner.
Yeah.
That is my entire offense. I'm always like, okay, like just make one read on either the cornerback or the safety, and I'm like, one of them's going to be open.
I learned how
ideally I have a mobile quarterback.
There you go.
Then it's like if it's like tight man, I'll run for 5 yards and be like, yeah, I'm kind of a genius. Like watch out, Shanahan.
The real fake genius is I learned how to motion, and then I say to myself in my brain, I'm like, oh, it's man. Oh, it's zone. like I have any like strong indication off of clicking a button in a video game. Oh, nothing quite like it. We'll do some Madden stream. No, I'm not gonna promise Madden streams in the future. That sounds like
that would be something, a Madden stream.
We'll do when the
this offseason is gonna get weird.
When the Panthers play the Lions in the Super Bowl. When the Panthers play the Lions in the NFC Championship game, we'll do a Madden stream. Play that out.
I hope that happens next year. Just the show leading up to it, it's gonna be no traits. It's just gonna be me and Will just like
yeah. I'm just making fun of Bryce Young or whoever the quarterback is that's leading that team to the NFC Championship game. All right. Any
see some comments in the Discord about some of the conversations that we were having from Alv and Hempen. He said, where was it? Hempen said, an Olave for Loveland would look perfect. And Alv said, I offered Igbuka for Loveland before moving him for Puka. The owner wasn't having it. I'll try Olave and see what he says. Thanks, man. Olave is a step up. I don't know if Olave is a step up from Igbuka in terms of dynasty value perception, to be honest. But I do think you're probably going to need to add a little bit, especially after how Loveland performed at the end of the year. People are gassing him up. I mean, I posted Igbuka Loveland, and everyone was like, Loveland. Like, I'm going to take Loveland every time.
Yeah. Yeah, the one thing you do have going for you in this move is that this guy also has Trey McBride. And I mean, no picks in this draft, so like maybe you could find a way to use the 112 to make that happen. But to me, if I'm this guy, I'm like, my wide receiver room is totally fine. Neighbors, BTJ, Rome, AJ Brown, J-Mo, Devonta Smith, Ayuk, you got Coker down there. That this guy probably would bite more at running back, and I don't really want to split up a Bijan CMC running back room when this team is nasty. So I would probably hold. You could check the waters, I guess, because they have Trey McBride. But yeah, I'm fine rolling with Getston, Ferg.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like your tight ends suck. You have tight end 9 and tight end 11. So,
dude, you get healthy Chargers O-line. You get Keenan Allen retiring. I'm telling you, man. Gadsden, high end tight end 2. No, I think you could. I think you could push.
Dynasty tight end 9.
I
think he'll probably be tight end 13 through 20.
tight end numbers are so funky too, and I can.
Nice conviction.
I really what I was doing, and it's deeper than rap. If you really break it down, if we just look at fantasy points per game, like just points per game at the tight end position, it is such a studs, and then like who really cares, right? So, like,
It was something like, wasn't it like, if I forgot what it was? It was like Kyle Pitts was like tight end 3, and like he's closer to tight end 27 or something than he is to tight end 2 or something. It's like just like the gap is just so flat once you get past like the first 2 guys.
Yeah, and I think Gadsden and Ferguson, I think could easily live in this like Juwan Johnson tier, which is like a step up. But I just would.
Do you just go get Juwan Johnson? I mean,
no, dude, you have Juwan Johnson on the Chargers. You have Juwan Johnson on the Colts.
You have to pay the Dynasty price.
Cowboys. Yeah. So I mean, I'd be willing, and that's kind of my tight end position too, is I'm willing to pay the price or make the bet on the elite outcome, but I'm not going to pay the price to like step up the ladder slightly, to go from Gadsden to Juwan or Kincaid or something.
Yeah.
That's not the right order, but you get what I'm saying.
I will say, Will, impressive out there scrolling through, pulling up different charts.
Bringing
a tear to my eye.
I have been I didn't make the site, but I do use it every day, so I better know how to click around a little bit.
I always feel like the league format tool, I'm like, I put so much into it. I'm like, I need to make it more clear, all the different charts and things like that. So
there was a while.
That's on my to-do list.
Where I stared at this and I was like, I know there is so much more being offered to me than I am utilizing right now. Like the war tier, I think is really interesting. Like when you actually get to look at like the war per game. All right, we got a queue here. What's up, Brandine? How big is the gap between the 101 and 103 this year for y'all? Got offered Trey Benson and a 27-second that could basically be anywhere to move down, considering it as I'm super running back and wide receiver needy. Oh, the 101 to the
Is it the 103 plus Benson in a second to move up?
I believe it's the to move down. So I think they're basically, I think what Brandines is saying here, shut up B, is they would like to, instead of adding Jeremiah Love to a running back wide receiver needy team, getting Benson the second and getting to add a receiver at the 103. 101 for 103 Benson and a 27-second. I think I'm keeping Jeremiah Love especially until that name is announced and we have a team and all the hype. Like, I think sometimes in rookie drafts we can think a little bit too linear. And I think it makes sense, right? When you're talking about moving into ranges like 101 to 103. But like this move specifically, 101 for Benson, 103 and a 27-second. I mean, are we 100% confident that Benson is going to be a meaningful impact to your running back room next season? I'm not at this point. I think it's possible that Benson is, the Cardinals running back you want to have next year. Like, for sure that's possible. But I know for sure that Jeremiah Love is going to smash. And I know that people are going to be excited about Jeremiah Love smashing.
I kind of feel like I have more confidence, and this might be a hot take. I kind of feel like I have more confidence.
Wait, do you want the full screen?
James Conner being an impactful running back for the Cardinals than Benson. Like, Benson to me, I'm just
so brave.
I'm like,
he's so brave. I got a lot of Conner. I've been buying a lot of Conner, man. Like, there's a lot of players. Conner's one of those players where I'm kind of just like, I don't think he's going out like that.
Like a throw-in.
Yeah. Tyreek Hill might go out like that.
He already beat cancer. Yeah. I mean, a knee problem. Come on.
Joe Mixon, I'm not putting in the camp, guys. I'll add Joe Mixon in on his deals. Did he shoot his own foot? Do we know?
I have
Cheddar Mixon.
The part about Joe Mixon is like not only did he disappear, but like there's just like no like it's just he's just gone. It's like there was like a hit out on him or something. I have no idea where he's at.
Yeah, and too, like the whole like it was nothing like it wasn't inappropriate was the word, but you know what I'm talking about. It was like something that was like it was nothing that was whatever. Cheddar mixtape.
Well,
Thank you.
didn't he have that one
Cheddar
scandal
Joe better?
where he, like shot at a kid in his backyard or something?
You never shot at a kid in your backyard? What do we think about? I saw this Daniel Jeremiah, 11 wide receivers in the top 50. I have not like fully
Can I pull that up?
gone through my prospecting. I did like peek, and there was some names I was like pretty surprised. Just in like basic, I know the player's name and I know like production and how many years they've been in college. I was kind of surprised at some of the names. I don't like to get too political with like agents and putting players' names on lists.
Lemon at wide receiver 1.
My man after my own heart.
Tate is ranked 9.
There was one.
Tyson is 15. Boston is 20. Sadiq is 21. Just for context.
Let me get this. I'm pulling up the list right now.
Where's KC?
Jacoby Lane. I like
Antonio Williams. 36. That's not a name you see often. Chris was it Brazel? I hope I said that right. Malachi Fields.
Yeah.
Zachariah Branch. I know some people like Zachariah Branch. Chris Bell would have been awesome if he didn't tore his ACL. Like that, we lost like a late first round pick with Chris Bell tearing his ACL, which stinks.
Yeah, I wonder if the numbers can feel
Concepcion, 32.
a little bit skewed because how many? I mean, when you're looking at a top 50, does he have one running back? Or is it just Jeremiah Love?
No, he has Pierce as well. I saw.
I'm excited to look at this stuff. We the like YouTube video content is gonna turn and hard shift towards rookie content. We've got the senior bowl obviously happening this week. I think post Super Bowl you'll see a big consistent shift into like breaking down a lot of the rookies, and those will be
in front of y'all's faces.
We'll get
not only on the live streams.
What do we call it, Jeremy?
YouTube videos.
It was going to be the. I'm taking a crack at prospecting, and it's going to be the humble genius rank for these players.
The humble
That's
genius
copyrighted. Ooh, if none of the big 3 wide receivers go top 10, is Mendoza locked in 102? That is a good question. This is a great question. We've hit the time of the night where Will's heading to Tankathon, and we're pulling up the. Let's just do the teams. Just kind of want to take a look see here.
Okay, so first off, I think one will go but in this hypothetical,
I think it's still like outside of top 10. If you give me teens. Like we're not pushing 20s and I still get a teens good landing spot. I could see that still, especially with all the hype that the prospects will get. Like think about how people are talking about all the big 3 right now. Like they have their own nickname. Like it's a boy band. Yeah. I think if you get good landing spot, which what would that even be, man? What's the good landing spot in the teens?
Like, okay, hear me out. What
the Rams are
kind
of fun,
Dallas
but
takes one. Dallas is like, we're not paying Pickens.
Yeah,
they take one.
Dude, these teams are kind of sketchy.
I could
like if we don't get the receivers, this is kind of interesting. If you don't get the receivers in this like top 9, top 10, I mean they're good enough that some of these teams are going to be fine. Like, wouldn't surprise me at all if the Jets at 16, like if this pick is like defense or something.
I saw one mock draft have Tyson
Baltimore
go to the Panthers, which
Kind
are
of the
definitely
Rams. I
new
did see
to
that.
the Cokeheads. But
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like if Tyson is there, you just take him. Like,
Yeah.
at that point, it's just a value.
I wouldn't be surprised at the Rams going receiver. Like, I do think, I don't know if you have any strong Stafford takes. I think they probably run it back. I mean, literally MVP season.
Yeah, Stafford will be back for sure.
McVay
contract situation.
His was like a 2. Didn't he have 2 years?
2027
confirmed.
Yeah, 2 years. So he is there another year.
Yeah. Yeah, these landing spots, you're making me do a thought experiment I wasn't ready to do.
I think the Ravens will probably.
Ravens, I could see.
The big three, like in this hypothetical, the big three slide. There's no way the Ravens are like, yeah, Zay Flowers and DeAndre Hopkins is what we're rolling with. Yeah, like you're gonna just give Carnell Tate with Zay Flowers and give Lamar someone that's more consistent than Bateman or Tez Walker.
There's a handful of landing spots too in the top 10 that I think are very, very likely to be heavily considering receiver, which makes me a little bit more confident that we'll at least get one. Like Cleveland, Tennessee, Washington, New Orleans.
I think Miami. Miami is also a good
Miami,
spot.
yeah.
Because Tyreek is probably gone.
Yeah.
And Waddle's been all right, but Waddle, I don't know if it's a true wide receiver 1 fantasy upside. So
yeah. And we could
be a good spot for someone to land.
Yeah, and it wouldn't surprise me at all too if we see. I mean, I don't know how likely it is for some of these teams that we don't see trade up a lot in the first round, but I think wouldn't surprise me at all if a lot of these 20s teams are willing to move up into the teens to take one of those receivers. Like you've got, like Steelers. I know a lot of people have been mocking Panthers to take a receiver, even though I like Coker. But yeah, Bills. I mean, San Fran.
Niners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is
Patriots for sure.
Every week I get the like revamped feeling of the excitement.
Start getting the itch. Everyone
of the dynasty.
Everyone's such a downer. This is what happens when it's like 2027 is like standing on a beach right before a tsunami, and it's you see all like the draft, like all the draft picks start swarming around this 2027 draft. All the hype is around this draft. We still have this draft, and I'm still excited for it. There's a lot to look forward to. We're going to get good fantasy players, especially if you have a top 6 pick. Obviously 2027 is going to be amazing in terms of what the expectations are, but you definitely do get the itch. First overall quarterback, three top wide receivers. I don't even think. I'm trying to think who was in last year's class. Like I feel like the top end of this class is kind of
at receiver
more solid in a way.
At receiver was really sketchy because we didn't get we had Igbuka. Like we weren't talking about receivers until the 19 spot. So when you start to look at like late firsts too, people get less confident. So I mean, we had Igbuka at the 107, 108. Golden was an early second, but I am very excited to start prospecting. I don't want to get too fake hype because I know there's a lot of people down on the first round of this class. But all it takes, man, you get some teams to believe in Price or Coleman or Concepcion. You get some names that are sneaking into the third or second for running back, but late first for receivers.
I'm leaning towards if Kenyon Sadiq, I almost said Sadiq Bey, is
classic
a top 25 draft pick. I think in most formats he's probably the 106, unless Boston gets an amazing spot. Like I know I was looking at Tankathon, they have Boston going to Philly, which wouldn't be amazing. It has Philly and then KC to Cleveland, and I'd probably just rather go with Sadiq. They had Sadiq to the Panthers, not non-biased, but I just mean a first round tight end. being a difference maker, especially in tight end premium, is going to be way more impactful than a bad passing offenses getting a good but late first round talent. I mean, that's starting to push the Keon Coleman range. That's starting to push. Now, that being said, JSN was the 20th pick in the draft, so you don't fade everyone. But JSN, I think, was a better prospect than both Boston and Concepcion.
All right, we have a live stream ask. What is up? The Grovester really needs an RB2. I'm not going to put together a message. Everyone remember this. Really needs an RB2 on this team. Who or what should I trade to make it happen, and for who? And I don't want to sound like how do I say this? I need help. This is chat. This is for you guys. Jeremy is also for you. How do I? Also, brother, are we looking at the same screen right now? H.N. Jonathan Taylor.
Oh, RB2.
This team is an RB2, my guy. You got 2 RB1s. Also, I was about to do the spiel. I had to cut myself off there. I was about to do the spiel that you don't need an RB1 January 27th.
I love Echelon. He's like,
he doesn't think it's updated. Okay. So this is, what do you think? This is like a league transition thing? And
this is if you log in, you have to select the year. If you log in.
Okay. So I gotcha. All right. Well, I take it back. But I'm still gonna do my spiel. I think I have it.
I can. It's a race.
Okay, I got it. Wait.
Oh, yeah, it hurts a little more now.
Banger.
I posted it in the Discord if you don't got it. I made some trades. I'm curious what these trades are.
Ooh.
So I can.
I like the sound of that.
Get everything set up.
I'm ready.
Trading Michael Pittman in a 308 for a 27 second and 27 seconds. So 27 seconds.
I like that.
I like that deal. Let's see where Jonathan Taylor went. Jonathan Taylor. Okay. I'll take it back. All is forgiven. Jonathan Taylor. It looks like it looks like you turned Nico Collins into the 103 and Jordan Addison. And then you took the 103, 27 fourth in Jonathan Taylor and turned it into Jamar Chase in the 310. So now that's why you need an RB, is because you just locked up
Chase.
The still Dynasty wide receiver 1, maybe.
All right. You got 2 firsts in 27. You got 2 seconds, a third, and a fourth. I want to give an answer because Echelon actually has the correct answer, that no one needs an RB2 right now, and that you can get into trouble sometimes when you're moving picks and flexibility to build out your starting roster that is not going to be scoring points for another 8 months. With that being said, how would you, in your mind, because even if we don't plan to do these things like today or the next day, at what time would you be focused on acquiring a running back? So I'm thinking like rookie draft time. It's easier. People are more active in making trades. You only have the 310 this year, so it's not as easy for you to be using picks on the board to get a running back. But post rookie draft, heading into the season, you got 227 firsts, 2 seconds. Would you just be keeping your ears open for rebuilding teams that are already looking to tank running back wise heading into next season? Or would you attack it a different way?
I'm trying to think asset wise. What am I moving?
Who's your favorite running back buy, Jeremy? Yeah, asset wise.
No.
Asset wise is tough.
I was looking. I'm like, okay. I don't want to move 27 picks unless it's like mid-season and I kind of know where the pick's going to be and I need to cash it. I need to like cash in somewhere.
Yeah.
I also look at this league. You got a super team. It looks rather, and then you have some other competitive teams. So it's not like I don't really want to push all my chips in. I don't feel like this is like a team where I'm overloaded with talent and need to win. I like the depth at running back, but obviously continue to add to that. And that 310 is not going to give me an answer in terms of, oh, sick, I don't have to worry about running backs because that 310 is going to be running back.
You'll probably have to use a receiver.
It's going to be a random guy.
Yeah, you'll probably have to use a receiver or, I mean, do we know the tight end premium? Like you do have Pitts and Gadsden. Those are at least two tight ends that can be moved. I don't see a tight end premium though.
There's no tight end premium.
Tonjes on waivers.
Yeah, so I mean,
well, no tight end premium. But.
He's worth a second.
That's a second round pick. Mark Fletcher Jr.
That's a second round pick. No, I mean, I think the players I would look at is how's your market feel about Gadsden, and how's your market feel about Jordan Addison, and can I use that to at least get somebody? Because Gadsden with the Josh McDaniels,
dude, would you
what's his name?
Oh, Mike,
Dolphins coach. I'm blanking. Yeah, Mike. Yes, with the new OC. People are gonna hype him up. The Darren Waller, the Jonnu Smith experience. You get it with Gadsden.
Hey, come on. Hey, mention Greg Dulcich. Say his name. Greg Dulcich had some receptions for the Dolphins last season. Would you try it?
And people will always be in on.
All right, I am going to throw out a couple things here. Feel free to shoot them down. I don't even think these are like specific targets, but Ramondre Stevenson types for cheap. I think what you probably want to hear, and I'm not trying. That sounded very accusatory. I did not mean it that way. In more upper tier running back, you probably will have to use one of your receivers, and it probably would have to start Rome up. And I would be willing to do that since you do have Chase, Amon-Ra, Rice, Rome, Addison, and you got Parker Washington down here too, who I think is a name that carries some weight. So if you want to try and see these teams that have, crappy receivers but decent running back rooms, this guy that has like Ayuk after Olave T, QJ Jacoby, like, can you use one of your receivers? I don't want to tell. Brown? Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'd be willing to do those.
Josh Jacobs.
The thing with running backs is running backs are the kind of position that can either get nuked in the draft or people think get nuked. I don't think this is a nuking type of running back class, but there may be opportunities post NFL draft. There's Jeremiah Love, 100%, but I think there's opportunities post NFL draft for a third or fourth round running back that goes somewhere for you to get Chase Brown for cheaper because the Bengals took a running back in the fourth. Like those kind of things, I'd keep your eyes on the pulse, and I would just be, dude, you use Dynasty Daddy. You look at these teams. This, Jerry Jones. This is. I'm peeling back the curtain. This is Will. 2 years ago, before I met Jeremy, I'm on Dynasty Daddy. And I'm clicking on my league, and I'm going, I have a sick wide receiver room. I need a running back. Okay, where can these stars align? Boom, Jerry Jones, 10. This is what I would do. I just wouldn't do it right now because I'm not trying to buy running backs who I'm not sure exactly what the contract extension full room looks like, and you don't need points right now. Yeah, very very fluid. Yeah, I think you have my permission to move. You're going to feel like you lose on these tight end deals, but in non-tight end premium, we showed you that chart. Like, dude, it is.
They're a dime a dozen. I mean, honestly, sell Pitts and Gadsden. Just roll with Mark Andrews.
Just fantasy points, man. Look at how flat like this gets here. And this is like right where the tight ends you have are. So it's not that worse to be going down into this range, the Strange, Tonjes, Mason Taylor range. and you definitely don't want to pay up to go into this range.
I do think Genghis Ben, he has currently 10th in starter rank. And I will say early off season, right? So starter rank's going to change a lot as we kind of get updated rankings. But Ramondre Stevenson, Rashad White, both of those are cheaper options if you just want to start padding some guys that might find their way into a good situation. But yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of the plays. Look at these like bad teams and say, okay, who is a guy that fits what I'm trying to do?
Yeah, this is a good question.
And
Do you find it?
Josh Jacobs on this team, on Andrew Cormelio. I probably butchered his
No,
last
it's
name.
perfect.
Sorry. But Josh Jacobs is on a pretty bad team.
Yeah.
I think that's the move.
And they definitely, I mean, Luther Burden, Terry, like I'm sure they would be happy to take some young wide receiver darts for Jacobs.
Honestly, Parker Washington.
Ooh,
Parker Washington, you're 310. You could sell on the hype or something like that. Like Parker Washington plus Gadsden or something. I don't even have to touch Rome.
Yeah. I like this question. Do you find it easier to trade cross positionally or to convert to picks first, then grab a running back? I mean, obviously the like easy cop out answer is it's like very team, league, and who you're trading with specific. And I'm sure you do this too, Jeremy, Echelon, everyone in the chat, where you are going into every individual. Like when I need something, my first instinct is, how do I find somebody that needs something that I'm willing to move? Like it is not, how do I find what I want? It is like, how do I find the team that is hurting a tight end and is going to pay up for, I don't want to say Gadsden. Gadsden's the name that came to mind, but I like Gadsden.
Well, I will say too, I mean, Gadsden's a good sell, I think, in a non-tight end premium league.
Yeah, right.
But there's something, I mean, we can utilize, like I just went through on the trade finder tool and just was like, okay, trade this for only running backs. And I was able to generate them. And something I got on the feedback form that some people filled out is they were like, I would love to be able to take the trade finder tool and kind of infuse it with a lot of the starter ranks. Because like you said, as you go through it, and the way I like to look is say, okay, if I'm buying a player, I want to look at these bad teams more. These teams are probably more likely to sell. And if I'm selling a player at a certain position, these teams that are weak at this position are probably more likely to buy. So that to me is something that Will has shown as well, is like how we use the power ranking table and try to like, because it is one thing to say in a void, would you have Chase Brown or Rome? And you're like, well, Chase Brown, but Chase Brown might be on a contender team. And they're like, I don't really need Rome. I would rather have Chase Brown.
Yeah.
So then all of a sudden that becomes a non-starter. So a lot of times it's based on the market of your league. So, and that's why when I was looking through it, I was like, here's a bad team that has Stevenson and Rashad White. Like both of those guys are cheap and probably don't fit a team that's bottom half of the table. They probably need more consolidation, some big hits. They need to hit on a Bucky Irving. They can't hit on Ramondre having 3 good weeks. Yeah. But you can. That's more valuable to you.
Will said it was perfect, like he knows Andrew. Hey, that's Cormy. Of course I know Cormy. We go way back. Big Dynasty Daddy fan, Cormy. What's up, Kyle? Can you show how you got to the fantasy points graph? I want to dive deep into my league. Yeah. So when you are on the power rankings tab, what you click in league wise, like is reading your current league that you have pulled up. So if you go league, obviously we're on the power rankings right here, and you go to league format. That's what I was on, the league format tool. And you see I have fantasy points clicked here. It's all the position. You can do a lot of fun stuff. Wins over replacement player.
Yeah, so if that top right thing is a visual, and you can also search it. There's a search bar, and I think there's like 30 different charts they can show. I think in the future, what I want to do is make it to where you can just toggle it on the chart itself as well. Like just be like, click the top and be like, fantasy points by whatever. But that's just me and my mentals. If you scroll under the charts, there's a gear icon. That gear icon, if you click that, you can also add about 50 different columns to that table. and they will pull in your actual league stats. So it's not only is it fantasy points, but it's fantasy points based on your league scoring. So there's a bunch of different columns on there, and those will be added to the table. So you can filter and do a bunch of additional things on that as well. And then on the actual table columns, if you scroll down there, there's it's called a hamburger icon, which is those 3 lines. If you click on those, I believe you can actually run certain filters on those columns where you can be like, I only want greater than 10 fantasy points or something. So there's a lot of different options to filter it out. I do want to give this page some attention because the league format tool kind of powers a lot of, powers the war tool, it powers the utilization reports and all those things. And I think I can probably do a better job at showing off and getting people familiar with all that. And I do plan on doing more of those videos on the channel, kind of breaking down features. I've been trying to do one for each because at the top I have the how to use this certain tool. If you click on that, some of them will have a link to a YouTube video. So I've been trying to, every single tool will have a video. So I do want to do league format, want to do the power rankings as well, trade calculator, all the big tools. But
yeah,
that's depending how motivated I'm feeling when I don't have a busy day.
We've got, what's up, Becca? Developer Daddy coming out. I know, I feel like you ever do a class presentation project, PowerPoint, and I was a good kid. I did a lot of work, but there was every now and then I wouldn't do all the work on the project, but I'd be the clicker. And the guy's like, oh, yep. Yeah. And if you look over here, and I'm like,
yeah, like next slide.
Yep. Yeah, I got you.
Well, I had to do for college. We had to do a team, and we had a presentation at the end of the year, right? And we had to present the presentation of the team. And they had one presenter, and they had to do like a dress up like Steve Jobs thing, like this software. And they had like 300 people in the stadium audience for it. And of course, my lucky ass is the one that draws the short end of the stick. And I have to present this project as the rest of my team just stands nervously on the side like, good job. But we did have to have one guy be a clicker. And I remember going up there and like presenting, and I turn around and it's on a completely different slide because the clicker only could go forward. So he accidentally like double tapped, and I was like, crap. But I will say, I nailed it at the end. Because someone in the front row let out a massively loud sneeze. I said, bless you. Everyone laughed. So nailed it. I stuck the landing.
I used to get pretty nervous for the class presentations. I'd get the flutter voice. You ever hear the flutter voice come out where you're like, like the the breath comes out a little bit? There was one time where I don't even know. I couldn't explain to you. I don't even know if Microsoft themselves could explain to you what happened. But I was doing a PowerPoint, and I clicked the next slide, and the screen was just black. And I could go back to the previous screen, and I could go to the screen after. But whatever content was on the screen, it just was replaced by just nothingness. And my brain, the first thing that came to my mind to say, I was so stun locked, was I was going to say, I'm messing up. I was going to say that out loud to like the entire class that was watching me present.
Yeah.
But I didn't, which I think is almost worse. I just said, and then I went back and I was like, there's some content there that isn't showing up.
I will say, I'm not a great public speaker, but my pro tip to get me out of my head is to purposely mess up within the first minute. Like, do something that like to me would be a mess up, because no one remembers like the right beginning. But like, just do something that gets you out of the I have to present. I have to be perfect. Like,
dang,
just
okay.
Get out, like go off script, or like just drop something. Like just try to get yourself out of it, and then it's like, okay, like kind of demystifies the scary moment.
All right, the final off-topic note as we're approaching an hour 50, and I'm approaching the Will P outro. I don't think we'll ever watch the full Will stand-up, but my first joke was that I was really nervous to do the stand-up, and I looked up what you should do when you're nervous to do it's public speaking or stand up. And the first thing I saw was to picture everyone in their underwear. And I just stared out into the crowd of all the people for like 10 awkward seconds and said, it's not working. And the people loved it. They did not love the rest of the set, but they did love the first joke.
Hey, I respect to anyone that gets up there and does that. That's tough.
Thank you. It was tough. And that's why I'm here and not doing stand-up.
I want to touch on William mentioning the how did y'all update my league? On the website still has my team from a few weeks ago. So, and honestly, I just need to do this at this point. But the site currently defaults to 2025. If you have your leagues linked to your account, they're 2025. In order to roll them over, you just got to go to add accounts, like add your leagues like you did the other time, and just make sure you select 2026, and then you can add them and sync them to your actual account. So that's something I need to work on because I've gotten that question a lot. So don't feel bad if it's confusing. It's kind of like this weird part of the year because I have fantasy wrap still going on. So I don't want people to come in and have it default to 2026 and then be like, wait, my wrapped is for a league that doesn't exist. So it's kind of like this weird time of like, what year do you select? But that is how that's how you get around that. I'll say Ray Rue asked me, Jeremy, in no tight end premium, who replaces Sadiq for the 106? I feel like early it's just KC or Boston. Like you said, it's a little gross. That's
just the receiver
in 1 QB. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to end up being draft capital. I mean, we'll see if Simpson or one of these quarterbacks sneaks into the back of the first and people have to have. I don't see that happening. I'm not a Simpson guy. So I do think it's going to just end up being whatever wide receiver gets the earliest draft capital outside of the big three. But wouldn't surprise me at all if we get there's some running backs I like. Now, I'm not going to say there's some running backs I like they're going to sneak into the back of the first round, but would not surprise me at all if we get a landing spot that people talk themselves into, 107, 108, 109, pushing up some of these, if it's Jadarian Bryce or Jonah Coleman. Not a singleton guy.
How deep do you know the class? Do you know Omar Cooper?
I
do not.
I do not.
I don't mean to put you on the spot. I already don't know Omar Cooper.
So that's Indiana. I do not know Cooper. I've not watched enough Indiana outside of the bowl games to give a feeling or breakdown on real or board anticipation. So we'll come back to that. But I don't think he's being projected that high.
He's 80th on Tinkathon.
He's I think he's, for most people, he's kind of behind that kind of, I know a lot of people obviously all the names we talked about.
I see
a lot of people like Branch more, Surratt more, Jacoby Lane. Yeah. I'm excited. Yeah. Do you guys know? It's time.
Will, fun question.
Yeah.
Kyle's hitting us. If you had the opportunity to, would you open a card shop? We know you got your Josh Allen card somewhere.
Guys, I'm a bigger card shop nerd. I used to play Yu-Gi-Oh in high school, Hearthstone in college.
Nice. Oh.
I tried to play the new League of Legends card game Riftbound that came out. I did go to a local. I went 2-1. I did talk to my wife. Yeah. I tried to relive the glory days.
Not double elimination, right?
Not double. Well, it was, but my wife called me and told me I had to come home and help with the kids. So that was the.
You got the DQ.
I'm outside of my my prime as a card game nerd. But I was talking to her, and I think card shop would be the one I have to pick a random occupation that has nothing to do with what I am doing or side project doing right now. I could see myself doing the card shop thing. I used to host tournaments. Shout out to Smash Club. I started at my college, which actually, this is not what people want at the end of the stream, but maybe Kyle wants it. Actually led to an esports program starting at my university 2 years after I left because of the Smash Club I started.
There we go.
So shout out to me. We didn't hit it. I don't think
I was the treasurer. I was the treasurer for a Smash Club.
Oh,
and all I had to do was collect.
You guys were making money. I was gonna say you guys were making money at your Smash Clubs. No, we did not have.
No, we did. We would just do a $1. We had a $1 tournament.
I like that
every Friday.
We had
a stream, and it would always be like $26 pot bonus. Like, oh my gosh, $26 is on the line.
Did Becca attend the Smash Clubs?
No, Becca went to a different college.
Oh, okay.
After college.
Well, Olivia went to my college, and she never came to Smash Club. So, the Lord deepens. This is if you're here in the off season, 2 hours into this live stream, you're here for this.
Just wait till the Smash stream. That's gonna be something.
This is a real life Dynasty question. What should I do with May as a contender? It feels wrong to not capitalize on his value right now. Which I think it's kind of like a granular. What's the opposite of granular? This is kind of like the opposite of a granular thing that you have to do with this question. Because what is Drake May? Is Drake May 90% Josh Allen for the next 10 years? And if that is what you believe and is the case, what is the cash out price?
It gets harder each year. 2 years ago, CJ Stroud was QB3. And it's like, to me, easy. One of my first takes, I was like, sell Stroud. The value's crazy. Next year, we get Jaden Daniels, right? Rises up the rank. And I'm like, to me, he has the traits that could be an elite fantasy producing quarterback. I could see holding on to him. I'm kind of in a similar bucket with May. Like, to me, I don't feel like I have to sell him. I do agree with the process, though, of is he as bulletproof as Josh Allen? And not Josh Allen as points, but as value. Josh Allen could have a bad 6-game stretch. He's still basically QB1.
Yeah.
He's still untradeable.
Like all the Lamar deals
Drake May has
that happened
6 bad games
through the injury.
Yeah, like if he has 6 bad games, is May still going to get that elite price tag, or is he going to drop down to like QB5 and in that range, with like Mahomes and Burrow, and if that's the case, then sure, I'd see if I could cash out. And I think that's the hard part, is like, I don't feel like May is bulletproof yet, but I feel like he's the closest we've seen since like healthy Lamar and Allen.
Yeah, I want to give May credit, and I think this is a good call out. I don't know if it matters if he is. I think it's the fact that he's at a ceiling in value is what gets to me. Yeah, that is a great point. I mean, there always has to be first round players. I think the more interesting thought with cashing out on May has to do with how you approach the quarterback position. That's something we talked about. I mean, we've mentioned it the past, I want to say like every stream we've talked about or at least I've talked about what the quarterback position is going to look like in startups in the future, and how people are going to approach it, where it's like, okay, I love Drake May. I got the 101 in the startup, so I can have my Drake May share. Let's go. And then you see teams that are building JSN, Puka starts and drafting Purdy and Jared Goff in like the 5th and 6th rounds. And you're like, shoot, would love to have Puka JSN on a team. That would be nice. So I think roster construction wise, and because that kind of relates to the cash out price, I'm very willing to, if I feel confident in my ability to still build a decent competing quarterback room, to turn Drake May into his Jamar Chase equivalent,
Mm-hmm.
Especially since you're more confident in that difference-making production happening, right? Like you're more confident in Jamar Chase, healthy Joe Burrow seasons giving you smash week in and week out than you are Drake May, even though May's been awesome this year.
Yeah, I mean, I think too, the point is also like, what is the price tag? Like, this might be something I cook up a little bit. I think I may be getting to the point where I might be open to trying to move Allen more, because he is starting to get to an age, and a part of the age. I think quarterbacks basically in their prime value wise until like 33, but you are getting to a point where Allen is not going to be as locked in as a dynasty asset, just from the fact that he is going to be in his 30s, and how many, crazy QB1 years is he going to be able to put up? That's going to be the narrative. And it's like, can you get out ahead of that? It's kind of like this weird mix. Like it's just hard because both Allen and May, it's like, I would move them if I got the price. The issue is like, can you get the price? Can you get someone to really be like, here's, Jamar Chase and the first and something, like here's like a crazy deal where you're like, of course I'm going to take that. And that's the hard part.
Yeah. I don't have the card with me. I just want to give the GOAT the credit he deserves. Just looking at this since 2020. 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. What a stud. But I hear you. And I do think that, like, wait, look at this trade. Josh Allen and Amon-Ra, or Mahomes, Marv, and a 26 first. Is that a fleecy? I wasn't just here to victory lap my own.
Like right after, like you drafted Marvin Harrison Jr., like all the hype was there. He's with Kyler. It's going to be awesome. And you're like, yeah, I'm moving off of him.
I did draft.
That person probably orphaned the team.
They do have the 101, if you can believe it. Moving off of Amon-Ra and Josh Allen for. This is not meant to be Will pulls. I was trying to flex how awesome Josh Allen is. Yeah. This was not meant. That shout out to Dudley.
Yeah.
Dudley, I know Dudley. I play pickup basketball with Dudley. Dudley has the 101, the 103. They're turning things around. They also gave me Justin Jefferson in a deal for Igbukah. All right. I think that's a good closure. When Will starts victory lapping and apologizing for victory lapping Dynasty Trades on accident, I think
I will say back to the card shop.
Oh, okay.
A random card shop opened up next to the Food Lion, and I walked in. It's just like a bunch of Pokemon card singles. Like I thought it'd be like a game store. Like
it's just singles, like they just buy and sell.
It's just singles.
Interesting.
I mean, they have some other packs. Like they had 3 old Pokemon like sealed, and it was like $1,000.
Jeez.
And I'm like, what in the world? And that's everyone crazy. Was like $60 to $100 something
retro packs
of all these like Pokemon cards. Just in it was interesting. I stumbled upon that, and then YouTube Google was probably tracking my location and fed me. Shouts to this YouTube channel, unrelated, Modern NBA. But they did a hour-long video going through Pokemon cards, like the business, and like follows a bunch of different like Pokemon businesses at scale. I had no idea. I was like, I thought it was like something, but they're like, this guy makes $1 million selling Japanese like Pokemon cards. I'm like, what in the world?
Do you have
$1 million selling $6 eBay cards?
Do you have like a old? I don't know why I like asking people this question, because I know it can be a pretty tough memory. But do you have any like, I had a box of Pokemon cards that I'm sure were like, would have 1 or 2 that are worth $1,000 right now that I gave to Kevin who lives down the street?
I mean, honestly,
that's what I did. I gave it to Kevin.
I have this old book. It's like probably 30 different EX cards from like the Emerald era, like the Deoxys era.
Yeah.
So they're probably worth a decent amount, but
it's a big Ruby guy.
Not like $1,000 or something.
Okay.
I got a Charizard EX.
People are getting the preview of what happens right after the stream for 7 minutes. We're just doing it on the stream right now.
But I did get a Charizard EX as a kid, and it was one of my favorites. And it turned out to be the most valuable card, but I would play with it so much that like it was like I couldn't get it graded for shit. They'd be like, "This is toilet
PSA
paper, man. Like,
0.5.
It is all wrinkly. Yeah, it is rough." So I know that one doesn't work. I will say during COVID, Becca and I, we just bought a bunch of random Pokemon cards because we had nothing else to do.
Yeah.
And she got a like Charizard V Max or whatever the hell. So that one's worth like $200.
Dang. We got a shout. What up, Biggie? Shout out Game Boy Color. I do. Anytime I start talking about Pokemon and I think about Ruby, that was the first game I like really remember playing. Shout out to my grandma. I was staying at her house in Kentucky for a couple weeks, and I played Ruby, and I was like, oh, this game's so awesome. And I said, Grandma, I beat this Pokemon game. Can you take me to the store? There's a new one I want to buy. And I didn't understand the different colors being just like different regions, and it's like the exact same game, except for like minor differences and legendaries and stuff.
You're like, I beat Ruby, I gotta beat Sapphire.
And I made her buy me Sapphire, and I plug it in, and I was like, this is bullshit. This is the same game, dude. And so I was just a girl. So that was my Pokemon experience.
I will say yes. Becca's a big Pokemon fan,
Nice.
and I got her Pokemon Legends ZA, the new Switch 2.
I haven't played that or the Arceus one. Are those worthwhile? As someone
she
who's
didn't
always
like the Arceus one, but she liked Legends ZA.
Legends ZA. Okay, I'll check it out. I've
That
seen
one's
a lot of
kinda
memes.
You're like in a city, like there's less routes, like you're just like hanging out in the city. But they did have a lot of shops for cosmetics, and Becca loved that.
Okay.
She'd spend like she'd go spend $200,000 in there and get a new outfit, and then have to go out and battle Pokemon to buy more clothes.
I'm with it. I was a big clothes buyer in Animal Crossing. And I was worried that the new Pokemon games, I saw that it was in a city, that it was just the same skyscraper rendered 4,000 times. But I'll check it out. All right, there you go.
I think
Pokemon review for you guys.
People debugged it, and it turns out it's one giant model.
Oh, dang.
Like the entire world, like people are like, why is the whole world one model?
Interesting. I wonder, yeah.
But I think I may have read that wrong.
Maybe the Pokemon physics though, with like how the game operates. I don't know. We're getting. I'm starting to speculate on things. Not that I think I don't understand. I know I don't understand. Oh, Biggie. We did have shout out to Echelon here with the change the year to 2026. Yes, if your team is the 2025 version, what you're gonna do is where you would normally log in. Oh, let me share my screen. So you update the year. And I would you could just go back to the homepage too if you're like already signed in or something, you switch, right? But this should show on the homepage, right, Jeremy? Even if you're signed in? Like being able to change the year?
Yeah. What if you have an account, what you do is you go manage leagues and then click add to account. And then you can just link your accounts with your new year.
Okay. Yeah.
If you don't have an account, then you can just go without an account and select 2026. And honestly, at this point, I'm just going to push it tomorrow. Default year 2026. Everyone just resync their leagues.
There you go, Biggie.
Because
that was the message that made it happen.
I got to help the people out.
All right. Any parting words before? I guess we will have one more stream before the Super Bowl. Not that changes any parting words, but just wanted to say that out loud. Yeah, appreciate you all watching. Definitely subscribe if you're not. We're going to be here all off season with the live streams Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern time, as well as videos starting after the Super Bowl, taking a look at the rookie class, off-season startups, and we'll do some startups too. We'll get the what's D? Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Daddy, the Daddy League,
Delta, right? Yeah, the Daddy
League. Delta Daddy, yeah. We should just call it the Daddy League, but Delta Daddy. We should probably stick with the theme.
Yeah, we'll have to do that.
All right.
The Daddy League.
Wait, did you give your parting words? Sometimes when I talk, I
No, I
tune
didn't.
out the world.
No, it's good. I mean, I always enjoy doing these, and even during the quiet,
Yeah.
there's some people are starting to trade more. We're starting to see trades pick up. So I'm excited to see once we really get into the draft season, once we really start to get some landing spots on these, especially these wide receivers. There's a lot to look forward to. I know it's not the 2027 draft class, but we still have to win 2026. It's all about winning. It ain't about drafting. It's about winning.
Yeah, man. But I think people are a little bit too down, especially at the top end of this class. I'm pretty excited. GG's?
If I had the 111, I'd be down. That's where I'm like, oh, I don't even know what I'm getting.
Have you updated? What's your kick to 27? Random 27? Were you 106 or?
I think I said, what was it? 108.
Okay.
I still think KC in Boston, or if they get first round draft capital.
Yeah. And we've got some
like
chances.
Early 20s.
You get the
they're
Sadiq.
At least bets that you should take.
Yeah. All right. GG's. Thanks for watching. Go Lions. Go Pistons. Anything else?
Go Hornets, baby. Hornets, Pistons. Hornets. First round's going to be crazy.
Oh, I can't wait. Let's go. Peace out.